Hey, it's Clay, and I've got another Battlefield 3 video for you today, and this time I wanted to talk about the Suppressor, the post-patch Suppressor as it sits in Battlefield 3. I was playing today. I was on a pretty standard 32-man Operation Metro server, playing some Rush, and I was on defense, and I really relish defense on Rush. On Metro, I really enjoy the challenge of it because you really got to be on your game. You got to be playing sharp if you want to really help your team. It's a fun map. There's a lot of action. You just got to be sharp. You got to be making good decisions and staying active. But the biggest thing that stuck out to me today while I was playing this match is the power of the Suppressor. Now, the Suppressor has pretty much vanished from Battlefield 3 since the most recent patch. DICE decided to nerf it, which I did not think was a bad thing. It was really powerful. Pre-patch, it seems like the M16 with a foregrip and a suppressor was an extremely common and powerful setup. And to be frank, there was no reason not to use it. It reduced his vertical recoil. It really didn't affect your damage drop-off distance. And it kept you off the minimap, which is a huge bonus. So I think all those things together, it just was such a strong attachment, and there really wasn't any reason to use anything else. But since the patch, the biggest hit was dealing with the damage drop-off and the way in which, the damage that your bullets do scales based on your distance. So basically, if you're at medium range, it's probably going to take one extra bullet than normal. And that can be a big deal. I mean, that can often be the difference between winning or losing a gunfight. And so, it's huge. It really has impacted the suppressor. And a lot of people are finding on their assault rifles especially that the suppressor is not what it used to be, and it should not, have the same, commonality as it used to. You'll see a lot of differentiation now. You'll see a fair amount of people using flash suppressor and a fair amount of people using heavy barrel, and I think it's good. I think it is good for that third attachment slot to be up for differentiation. The flash suppressor can limit recoil, and the heavy barrel can increase your damage distance at range. But as the suppressor has gotten nerfed, it really has. I mean, when you watch kill cams and you see what people kill you with, it's all but disappeared. But I want to say with confidence that there is still a place in Battlefield 3 that the suppressor belongs, and there are still setups in which it can be extremely powerful. And I think that this one that I'm using today is a prime example of that. The P90 is a really prime candidate for the suppressor in my mind. It's got a high rate of fire, it has a really big magazine, and because it's a PDW, it has high mobility. I think all those things together make it a perfect combination for the suppressor. That guy was clueless. He had no idea what was going on. But because of that combination, I think it makes it a perfect candidate. Because, as the suppressor will limit your effectiveness at medium range, you're going to want to have most of your gunfights close range. And because of the suppressor's ability to keep you off the radar, it makes it excellent for flanking. If you'll see in this game, over and over again, I'm killing people when they're not looking at me. I'm shooting them in the back. I'm shooting them in the sides. I'm running into groups of 2 or 3 or 4 guys, and they have no idea I'm there by the time they're dead. And I think that is, such a. I mean, that guy had no idea I was there. He was shooting at a friendly, and I just kind of got in his crossfire. But as you'll notice, the suppressor's ability to keep you off the radar, combined with the P90's big magazine, high rate of fire, it just makes it a perfect flanking setup. And that's what I want to say about the suppressor. I want to say that the suppressor, the place of the suppressor in Battlefield 3 is for flanking now, and I think that is as it should be. The suppressor should not be the dominant attachment for head-up, gun-on-gun fights. If you're pulling out your M16 and you're going to try to win one-on-one gunfights all day, I don't think the suppressor should be the attachment for you. But if you want to put on a P90, if you want to try to get behind the enemy and flank them, I think the suppressor is a perfect choice. And I think that it can be so powerful, And I think the biggest thing about the suppressor is it really stretches your map knowledge. It really stretches your knowledge of flank patterns and traffic routes. So you have to have a really high familiarity with the server, with a certain map. It also depends too on the number of guys playing. On 64-man servers, On smaller maps, it can be a bit of a logjam, and that can kind of prevent your ability to really get behind the enemy, because your routes are just limited by sheer number of people. But when you have instances where you are trying to flank and you're trying to go the routes that aren't traveled very well and get behind the enemy, get to the side of the enemy, I think the Suppressor is perfect for that. And I think this gameplay really shows, So right there, I just killed that guy. I was behind him. He had no idea I was there. And you know what? Maybe it did take an extra bullet or two than normal to kill him. And there's another example of a guy I shot from behind. But because they don't know where you are and they don't know where you're coming from, it doesn't matter that you don't have that extra bullet. So if you're relying on your map knowledge, if you're really being intentional about flanking, the Suppressor can be extremely powerful. And so I just want to make an argument for keeping the Suppressor in its rightful place. Because I used it on the P90 this game and I had a lot of fun. It was extremely successful too. So I just want to urge the Battlefield community to not forget the Suppressor. Thanks, and I'll see you soon. Bye.